Imagine a piece of indigo blue fabric, patched dozens of times, layer on layer, stitch by stitch. Every patch tells a story. Every white thread running through that deep blue reveals years of use, of care, and a refusal to just throw it away. This fabric has a name: Boro. And it carries a philosophy in its fibers that can change the way you see your things, your choices, and even your own flaws. These precious threads hold together stories of human resilience and love that travel through time. Boro comes from two Japanese words. Boro means something worn out, tattered, or beaten down by time. But here's the fascinating part. What could have been seen as a source of shame, a sign of poverty or neglect, became one of the deepest expressions of resilience and beauty in Japanese culture. Boro turned necessity into art, scarcity into creativity, wear and tear into value. For centuries, farming families in northern Japan, especially in the Tohoku region, lived in extreme poverty. Cotton was rare and expensive. A simple piece of cloth was a huge investment. So, when something tore, nobody just tossed it. They patched it. And when it tore again, they patched it again, and again, and again, until the original fabric almost vanished under layers of patches, creating a unique tapestry of survival and persistence. But Boro is more than just a repair job. There's something deeply human about it. Every hand-sewn stitch from a mother, a grandmother, or a daughter carried intention. Every patch represented time spent, focus, and love shown through care. These women weren't just fixing clothes. They were protecting their families from the harsh Japanese winters. They were saving precious resources. They were saying, with their needles and thread, this still has value. The deep beauty of Boro. Boro textiles have a look you can't miss. They look like old maps, or constellations, or landscapes seen from above. Every piece of Boro has its own textile topography. What started as a rural necessity turned into something we now admire for its beauty. But why? What makes these patched-up fabrics so magnetic? Maybe it's their radical honesty. Nothing is hidden. Every repair is visible, celebrated even. The patches don't try to blend in with the original fabric. They show up exactly as they are. Additions, layers of time, marks of continuity. There's a visual integrity to that, a refusal to fake perfection. Boro shows its scars, and by doing that, it turns vulnerability into strength. There's also something deeply meditative about looking at these pieces. Your eyes follow the patterns, the lines, discovering where one patch meets another. You immediately realize the work that went into it. How many hours? How many winter nights did a woman sit by a dim lamp, stitching while her family slept? Every square inch represents human time, genuine attention, and being fully present. And here's a fascinating truth about beauty. It often shows up where functionality and care meet. The creators of Boro never set out to make art. They wanted to keep their families warm, make resources last, and do the essential work of providing. But by doing that, with total dedication, with infinite patience and hands repeating the same movement thousands of times. They created something transcendent. Sashiko. The technique that brings Boro to life is called Sashiko. Literally, it means little stabs, a humble name for piercing fabric with a needle and thread. But that simple name hides a quiet sophistication. Sashiko is just running stitches, the basic ones anyone learns first. There's nothing complex about a single stitch. The magic happens in the repetition, the rhythm, and the build-up. The stitches follow traditional geometric patterns, parallel lines, grids, soft waves called seigaiha that look like the ocean, patterns of hemp, mountains, abstract flowers. Every pattern has its own name, history, and meaning. But they all share the same essence: simplicity multiplied until it becomes complex. When you look closely at old Sashiko work, you notice the stitches aren't perfect. Some are bigger, some smaller. Sometimes the thread is tight, sometimes it's loose. These imperfections show the human hand behind the work. No machines, no industrial uniformity. Every stitch carries the unique signature of the person who made it. The natural shake of a hand, the tiredness at the end of a long day, the rush of one moment, the calm of another. There's a Japanese philosophy called Wabi Sabi that celebrates exactly this: imperfect, fleeting, incomplete beauty. Wabi is about the modest elegance found in simplicity. Sabi is the beauty that time gives to things. That patina of age, the signs of use. Boro is wabi-sabi in every inch. The tears and patches are sabi, marks of time. The simple technique and humble materials are wabi, elegance without showing off. Now, imagine bringing that perspective into your own life. How many times have you thrown something away because it looked used? How many times have you thought old meant worthless? Our new and perfect culture taught us to see wear as a failure. But Boro tells us a different truth. Long use means a life well lived. Patches mean something mattered enough to be saved. Honor your own Boro. There's a deep lesson hidden in the layers of Boro that goes beyond fabric and into our own lives. Once you get the concepts and the beauty of this technique, you understand that living is, inevitably, a process of wearing down. Time doesn't pass us by without leaving a mark. It pulls at us, tears us, and sometimes leaves us in pieces. But Boro teaches us that the fabric that tore is the same one that receives the healing. Getting older, then, isn't about losing your shape. It's about gaining texture. Every experience, every mistake, and every hurdle we overcome are the patches we add to our invisible skin. At the start, we're a smooth cloth without a story. Over time, we become a Boro, a stack of layers where the new protects the old and the old supports the new. Our stories aren't flaws in the fabric. They're the embroidery itself. The more patches we carry, the denser our soul becomes, the warmer our hug feels, and the more valuable our presence is. In the end, the deepest beauty isn't in the perfection of youth, but in the courage to keep stitching yourself back together, point by point, until your life is a work of art made of survival and time. So, look at your own story with the same respect you'd give a centuries-old Boro. Don't fear the tears life has dealt you, and don't try to hide the patches you needed to make to keep going. Every expression line, every change of course, and every scar. Those are your Sashiko stitches. They're proof that you didn't give up when things got hard. Accepting aging through the lens of Wabi Sabi means understanding that our beauty doesn't lie in what stays untouched, but in what survived. We are living fabrics, enriched by time, gaining value with every new layer of experience. Let's finally embrace our own complexity. Let's honor our marks, knowing that a patched-up life isn't a broken life. It's a life that's been deeply loved, cared for, and above all, fully lived. You aren't less because time has passed. You're more because now you have a story.